Do you find yourself constantly thinking, there has to be a better way to this? Do you tinker with systems, redesign processes, and feel driven to bring harmony to chaos? You might be a Sirian Starseed. Sirian Starseeds are one of the largest group of starseeds here on Earth. You might instantly think of ancient Egypt and their pyramids, but when you visit modern countries like Germany, Switzerland, Scandinavia, or Japan, you can't help but notice the presence of Sirian design, inventiveness, thoughtfulness, and cooperative, egalitarian culture. You might even encounter Sirian Starseeds at your workplace. They're the ones designing, redesigning systems and structures and putting protocols in place so the organization runs smoothly. They might be the architects working in human resources, urban environmental organizations, or in other humanitarian fields. That's because Sirian Starseeds live by the motto, there is a better way. And they will tinker until they see improvements and remain passionate about bringing harmony and balance into our world. I'm Elizabeth Venus Garden. Welcome to my channel. I'm an Akashic Records reader and remote energy healer. On my channel, I discuss topics that intersect with spirituality, science, and creativity. And if you're a fellow mystic and a seeker of truth, you found the right place. Today, I'm exploring Sirius, the luminous dog star, and the mission, culture, and traits of Sirian Starseeds. And if you watched my other Starseed videos, you know I include a few famous people or celebrities that are Sirian Starseeds at the end, so stick around for that. Imagine cosmic teachers, current and from previous timeline, interwoven with Egypt's sacred mysteries, guiding Earth's evolution, either by coming here physically or guiding us from beyond the veil as spirit guides. To discuss Sirian Starseeds on Earth, we must begin during the time of Lemuria and Atlantis, and then the Post-Atlantean epochs with the Egyptians and the Mayans. When we hear about mermaid and unicorn lore from different cultures and folklore, they may be remnants and memories that people in our timeline still have, and they channel from their remembrances of this very cooperative and egalitarian Lemuria and the technologically advanced Atlantis before the fall of that epoch. Because Sirian Starseeds were already here during those times. Sirian Starseeds would have been glad to build a harmonious society and to promote peace and cooperation. And you can imagine that Sirian Starseeds who love infrastructure and engineering would have been very active during those peak times of Atlantis. Now let's talk about Egypt. In Egyptian lore, Sirius was embodied within the goddess Isis, who is considered a divine guardian of the cosmic order. Many temples dedicated to Isis and Hathor are said to be aligned to Sirius, for example, like the one in Dendera. Investigative journalists like Graham Hancock believe that the Sphinx was actually a lion, and due to the precession of the equinoxes, it was most likely built during the time of Leo. Okay, but how does this relate to Sirius? While scholars may disagree on the details in ancient Egypt, the opening of the new year was called Wepet Rempet. I'm sorry, I'm probably mispronouncing that. And it was celebrated around mid-July, marking the beginning of the new year and the start of the annual Nile flood season. It was time to coincide with the heliacal rising of Sirius, which also signaled that the flood will make the land fertile again. thus associating Sirius with abundance. And perhaps this is where the 8-8 Lionsgate portal actually connects. Since Egypt's calendar did not contain a leap year, the exact date of the festival would have gradually shifted over time. One thing to note, the Egyptian goddess Isis is often conflated with another goddess, Soptet, who personified Sirius. So Sirius became considered the soul of Isis. The flooding of the Nile was thought to be caused by Isis's tears of mourning for Osiris, and thus there's a strong connection of abundance, fertility, and that 8-8 Lionsgate energy all conflated together as the flood makes the land fertile for a good harvest season. Many temples were built to orient themselves to the star Sirius. If you've read the Sophia Code by Kaya Ra, you might recall that Hathor and Isis, as well as Green Tara, these specific goddesses and ascended masters have a Sirian connection. Outside of Egypt, across the Sahara, the Dogon people of Mali tell of Nomo, which is described as an amphibious fish humanoid beings from a planet they called Po-Tolo. They describe it as a hidden, dense, and white planet that orbits Sirius every 50 years. This was documented well before Western science could prove this was actually accurate. Sirius B, a white dwarf planet, does indeed have a 50-year orbital period. Some writers, like Robert K.G. Temple in his book The Sirius Mystery in the 70s, connected this as evidence that the Dogon people have been connected with Sirian star beings since they had observed this without telescope or astronomical knowledge. The way I view it is that the survivors of the Atlantis fall probably had passed down some of this knowledge as well. Both things could be highly plausible, right? For the Mayans, the first day in the Mayan year was also determined according to Sirius's relative position to the sun. According to this blog I've linked in the description, the terraced temples are built in a way that create a star clock, which helps mark the movements of important stars to the Mayans, such as Venus and Sirius. There are more Mayan and Sirian ties, but for now, I'll just mention the mathematical and astronomic and geometric ties that the Mayans are known for. Also, Sirian traits. Before we dive deeper, let me put my disclaimer here. Just like my other Starseed videos, when we look at Starseed groups, it's never a one-size-fits-all. Just think of humans on Earth and the great diversity we have here, not just in our appearance like skin, eye, hair color, body shapes, and build, but also our preferred environments, belief systems, and personalities. The same applies to any other Starseed groups. However, imagine if a star being had never been to Earth nor met a human being. We could describe some general traits that humans have and a few things we can observe about our society at large here. So I use this as a guide to describe their culture, traits, and perhaps their mission here on Earth to you. Kindly keep in mind that having these traits and leanings doesn't automatically make someone a Sirian Starseed, and if you don't have some of these traits or characteristics and maybe you don't resonate with them, it doesn't automatically mean you're not a Sirian Starseed. So please take what resonates with you and leave out the rest and try to keep an open mind. Some of my information comes from the course I took from my mentor Natasha of Cosmic Empress. She also made a wonderful public video on Sirian Starseeds that I will link here as well as in the description box for you to check out. In my video, I tried to add additional insights that I've channeled myself when doing client Akashic Record readings. And if you are a fellow Akashic Records reader, I'd also love to hear from you and what you think if you got very similar information. Speaking of which, you can actually watch my reading with Allison linked here, where she is an Arcturian starseed, but she also spent a lot of lifetimes in Sirius. So she does have a lot of Sirian Starseed traits as well. I've also gathered information from other readings, and I will mention the specific info I channeled just for this video from the Akashic Records. So what do Sirian Starseeds look like? In terms of appearances, it is very diverse. Many do choose a humanoid form similar to us. They may take on appearances with blueprints that are like winged horses and unicorn beings, kind of like Pegasus. Also, these lions and majestic feline beings. Also, they do have dragon beings, but one thing that came up as I was channeling that they don't have as many dragons in Sirius, but they do have some dragons too. Probably more typically, you will find water beings, cosmic whales, dolphins, turtles, mermaids, as well as birds and avian beings, fairies, dog and wolf beings. Blue rays also come from Sirius. The Sirius star is indeed part of the Canis Major constellation after all, so they do have dog and wolf-like blueprints. And special mention to Sirian Starseeds, they also have mantis and insectoid beings. Quick note, the animal forms are not quite like the animals we know here on Earth and the Discovery Channel. They are higher dimensional animals, as Sirius is mostly a 5D to 9D star system, so perhaps it may help if you close your eyes and you can kind of feel into it with your clairsentience and tuning in to feel the difference in vibration and frequencies between animals here on Earth as well as Sirian higher dimensional blueprints. Some of the visual aids I created with AI I hope will help illustrate or showcase what I can sense, feel, and remember. I will circle back to the mantis and insectoids in a bit, but for now let's talk about their traits and sole purpose. I shared a bit in the introduction, but here are some of the key traits of Sirian Starseeds and their mission. Sirian Starseeds want to bring harmony and balance to their world. They are experts in communication, improving technology, infrastructure, and systems. And I'm not just talking about building cities and roads for infrastructure. They also set up and invented the internet, phones, and medical devices and other technological things like hospital equipment. This is why I mentioned the Germanic countries, Scandinavia, and Japan, and of course, places in the US like Silicon Valley. At least in our recent history, these countries and cities have a high concentration of problem solvers who love projects that benefit the collective. In terms of gender, they tend to be very well balanced with their feminine and masculine traits. They're very neutral and calm. They tend to have a more moderate emotional body with a very solid balance between their mind and heart. So speaking about gender, it's not a strong part of their identity or a place of importance, as their focus is on harmony and unity. Because they value balance and harmony, that means they're also very inclusive. Contrasting with Lyrans. For example, Sirians do love their technology, and similar to Lyrans, they are highly creatives. There's no doubt that if a Sirian starseed saw robots bringing you food and automatic systems in airports and things going very efficiently, they will have a big smile on their face. Sirian Starseeds like to be the guardians of ancient wisdom and have knowledge and have the strong hive mind as mentioned. That means they're also very intuitive, empathic, and loyal. Per Natasha's Sirian Starseed video, she shared that in her channelings, Sirian social structure is very cooperative, where things like job titles, money, and status simply don't matter. Natasha was shown a big public bulletin board where there are job postings, and Sirians just go and pick one that looks interesting, which is also a job that their society needs to be done at this point, and they just do it. And when the job is complete, they move on to the next job and fill in where there's a need. I like to compare Sirian society to a beehive, where the worker bees can adapt to any role and do the work that needs to be done for the hive wherever there's a need. Sirian society functions on fluidity, service, and balance between self and the collective. Unsurprisingly, in ancient Egypt, bees were sacred to the sun god Ra and symbolizes royal authority, a symbol of kingship in Lower Egypt. Honey and bee products were important in rituals and daily life and believed to be an emissary from across the veil, sending a message, maybe a spirit guide. The mantis beings came up as I was dowsing for one of my past client readings, and what came up was that there is a small group of higher dimensional mantis star beings in Sirius with special skills like medicine, physics, and telepathy. So I want to give that a special mention. It's not quite what you would think typically, but they exist. Speaking of bees in Egypt, Sirian Starseeds are naturally talented at sacred geometry and are gifted in gridworking and tapping into the grid and the ley lines on Earth, as well as the cosmic and planetary grids. You can call in and call on the Sirian higher dimensional beings to guide you, to help you in your grid work or your mathematical problem solving. Were you excellent at geometry and formal logic in school? Do you have an interest in feng shui and geomancy and mathematical calculations and statistics? Perhaps you do have a connection to Sirius. I love to share some interesting things and anecdotes I discovered from performing sacred Akashic Record readings for clients without giving too much away. In one of my readings, this individual has many licenses, advanced education degrees, and very diverse work experience, excelling in multiple careers, and does tend to switch jobs often. And I said, well, perhaps this has something to do with your 4,000 or so lifetime in Sirius, where that was very normal and money as a currency was not valued at all. The client then revealed to me that they will keep focusing on what brings them the deepest joy and also honoring their soul history as having spent this time in Sirius and kind of carrying that over. Many of the Sirian Starseeds I've had the honor to do readings with are not only multi-talented in their 3D careers with extensive resumes, but they also have many psychic gifts. For example, most of them have remote viewing and second sight as a psychic gift. I think those are self-explanatory, but many also have psychometry or clairtangency, which is the ability to obtain information about a person or an object by touch. Scrying is also a psychic gift, and you can use that to scry for information too, like great for research and getting information. But clairtangency through touch is very immediate. Upon touch, you can immediately get that information, and you can imagine that people with this psychic gift of psychometry would be excellent massage therapists, chiropractors, Reiki, energy healers, or even doctors and nurses. Many of them also have energy medicine, energy manipulation, and psychic surgery, which are related to energy healing and involve energy work. When I disclosed to one of my clients that they had this energy medicine and psychic surgery, also Sirian, in their soul's journey, they disclosed to me that they had broken the connecting bone on the shoulder joint and their arm was just hanging after an accident. And after getting a second and third opinion from surgeons after x-rays and MRIs, the doctor actually advised for surgery but they knew in their heart there was a way to rehabilitate it without surgery. And this individual didn't even go to the rehabilitation physiotherapist that was assigned. Instead, followed an exercise routine that involved hydrotherapy that they designed on their own. And when it healed, they were able to heal it. The surgeons then asked them, how do they do it? Well, this is an example of someone following their inner wisdom and using their energy healing and psychic surgery. Please note that I am not encouraging anyone to forego the advice of doctors, but merely to illustrate that sometimes alternative therapies can work, especially if you're gifted in the area of energy healing and psychic surgery. I mean, your body, your choice, but always use discernment. Now, what are some of the challenges that Sirian Starseeds may face here on Earth? Some challenges might include balancing service to others with self-care. Oftentimes, they can overwork themselves in their projects due to their strong sense of responsibility or loyalty, and they may experience tunnel vision. Their desire to make things better and improve all the time may not sit well with others who are more complacent or just content with the status quo or just doing good work, as an example. It may also seem odd to others how little they care about gender identity, and that can be challenging or make someone stand out in certain situations. Sirian Starseeds may also struggle to express deep emotions openly due to their moderate emotional bodies. Also, they might care very strongly about their spiritual purpose, that their jobs and relationships must always align with their values. An example of this would be if their coworkers don't care as much and do the bare minimum, and maybe they don't feel that they are a team player. I mean, this would upset anyone, most people I presume, but it would especially bother a Sirian Starseed. In sum, Sirian Starseed's mission involves being the keepers of wisdom and being fiercely passionate about making the world a better place for all. They are true problem solvers. They live by the motto, there is a better way. They are champions of truth and act as protectors of collective peace and harmony. They tend to have more balanced masculine and feminine traits, and they love technology, are experts at communication, and are visionary architects for a better world. All right, are we ready to find out which famous people, either alive or in a recent history, were or are Sirian Starseeds? A note, I did not open up these individuals' personal Akashic records as that would require their consent, but since they are public figures, it means they have a profile in the Akashic records that I can access through Mother Gaia. Think of what I'm reading as a telephone book or their Wikipedia page equivalent in their Akashic records, and all I did was gain permission to read that, whether they are Sirian Starseeds or not. One thing that I encountered in this process was many of the people on my list that I suspected to be Sirian were actually Arcturian. And so I did my best to think and come up with a list of potentials to check, but do let me know in the comments if you think there are more famous people or celebrities you suspect may be Sirian Starseeds and that I should check. So what's on my list? To start, Karl Marx. I had already previously disclosed Karl Marx in my other video, but now that I did a full video explaining Sirius Starseeds, can you see how Marx was really writing about a 5D and higher cooperative society that's actually very, very Sirian? Next, we have Hedy Lamarr. This is the only actress I have on my list. She was also an accomplished engineer. She was an Austrian-American actress who co-invented frequency-hopping spectrum technology during World War II, along with co-creator George Antheil, to prevent torpedo jamming, and this technology became foundational for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS systems later on. Next, we have Oscar Isaac for actors. He is a Guatemalan-American actor most known for Ex Machina, Star Wars, and Dune. Sirian Starseed. Also, maybe the Mayan connection. Guatemala, Tikal, Mayan, maybe. Next, it'll be interesting if he finds out I discovered he is a Sirian Starseed. This is Neil deGrasse Tyson, American astrophysicist. His egalitarian and very fair approach and his ability to break down complex concepts to the general public in such an accessible way, it makes total sense. Harmony, balance, cooperation, education, these are very Sirian Starseed traits. You may not be surprised by the following polymath. So here's the list: Pythagoras, Fibonacci, René Descartes, Isaac Newton. So not surprisingly, these are polymaths and integrative thinkers. Geometry, math, science, logic. They dabble in different academic fields. Sirian Starseeds. Next, we have inventors, and my list includes Alexander Graham Bell, Vinton Cerf, Tim Berners-Lee. You might know Bell as the inventor of the telephone. The other two are considered the fathers of the internet, notably Tim Berners-Lee, who invented the World Wide Web while working at CERN and developed HTTP and HTML and URLs. Also in the inventor category, we have Sarah Blakely. She is an American entrepreneur and the founder and inventor of Spanx. What do you think of my list of Sirian Starseeds? Were you surprised? I actually dowsed for a long time, like almost an hour or over an hour, because I had a much longer list of actors and actresses, but they were not from Sirius. So if you may have any ideas that I didn't think of, whom you might believe are Sirian Starseeds, please do let me know in the comments and let's check together. While I profile Sirian Starseeds, and this is by no means an exhaustive list of traits and culture and individuals, before I close this video, I wanted to share that if you feel a very strong connection to Sirius, consider calling upon Sirian guides in your meditations or your dream and your vision journaling. Ask for a Sirian guide to come to you and to give you signs and messages. Perhaps consider connecting with Hathor, Isis, or Green Tara and ask them to please connect you with Sirius. Other practical things you can do is visit cities that have many Sirian qualities I mentioned, including but not limited to just the pyramids of Egypt or the Mayan temples of Tikal and the Yucatan Peninsula. If you connect with Sirius B, the water planet, consider engaging in water rituals, swimming, diving, onsen or hot springs, swimming in the rivers or lakes, or submerging yourself in a bathtub for your meditations. Consider embodiment through acts of services and inclusivity, values that are central to Sirian Starseeds as a way to connect with them. Find communities of like-minded souls to become part of a hive, so to speak. You can volunteer to become a mentor or humbly accept being mentored as a mentee and connect with harmonious groups. Being plugged in a Sirian society way may help you activate and connect you with your Sirian Starseed family. Whether you are a Starseed or Earth Angel, we are here on Gaia and Mother Earth for many different reasons, visions, and missions. Whatever your unique mission is, just know that you can connect with other Sirian Starseeds as well as other fellow Starseeds. If you want to discover your soul origin and may be interested in an Akashic Records reading, I have more info on my website, which is linked in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. If you found my video interesting, educational, or entertaining, please give it a like and share with me in the comments what you think, or consider subscribing. I love to know what you think. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.